All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to USD 464 special board meeting this evening. We have a few things to get underway. First is everybody would stand. We have a flag over here on my left and right. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I move to amend the agenda to move patron comments at the beginning before executive session and limit comments to 3 designated representatives for board policy BCBI. A second.
Motion been made and seconded to amend the agenda to put patron comments before executive session, to limit comments to 3 designated representatives per board policy BCBI. All in favor, signify by raising your hand. All opposed? All right, next up is 3 patrons. Mr. Martin Olson.
I thought I was going to have more time to rehearse.
And you have 5 minutes.
Set the clock and I'll run through it. All right. Tonganoxie USD 464 board members, teachers, staff, and patrons. As I prepared this statement, I found it a bit ironic that after having children in the USD 464 district for the last 18 years, I find myself addressing the board for the first time 2 days after my last child graduated from Tonganoxie High. Our family has been part of this community for the last 18 years and we plan on being part of this community for the next 18 years and beyond. Some of the members of the board and the patrons assembled here may know my family's story, our relationship with the district administration, some of the teachers, and specifically the staff member in question. For those not familiar, I won't go into the history here, but suffice to say, I support the staff member. I will never shy away from that. My wife and I have seen the staff member serve the interests of the students of Tonganoxie in the darkest of hours. I have seen the staff member hold the essence of love, respect, integrity, compassion, and trust for the students of Tonganoxie when they were all but lost. I've seen the staff member stand in the meta skills of leadership and support so he could serve as a shepherd and a servant to a district whose students were lost to despair and looking for an answer to things that couldn't be answered. He did all of this while I suspect internally he himself was absolutely crushed. He gave himself completely when it mattered, and nobody would have faulted him for faltering. Yet he did not falter when the students in the community needed him. I support this staff member fully, and I will not shy away from that. However, it is not my personal affiliation that compels me to address the board tonight. It is a desire to give presence to some of the quieter voices in the system that I think need to be heard and acknowledged. The Tonganoxie School District is on the precipice of great change and challenges. The budgeting structure and political climate in Topeka will undoubtedly continue to create huge challenges throughout the 2016-17 school year. The only things that seem certain at present are the facts that money, headcount, activities, and supplies, and the overall plan for getting through this 2016-17 school year is uncertain. As a community, we are in for some hard times. Adding to this, we have the internal challenges that are exacerbating the trouble coming from Topeka. We need to find a new superintendent. We need to address the climate we ask him or her to step into. As a parent, it is my belief that this climate is disintegrating. We are heading in the wrong direction. Over the last few years, the district has gone from one that was regionally recognized as a cool school, where the entire student body gathered and supported each other, to one where buses are vandalized, talented teachers are leaving, and the superintendent is notably absent from the high school graduation ceremony.
Amen.
To be clear, I don't hold this board or administration responsible for any specific act, but I do hold you accountable for the overall atmosphere and attitude between the teachers and the administration. We as parents and patrons also share in this blame. We must all work together to heal and regrow a climate that once again strives for excellence and accountability in our students, teachers, and administration. I believe that we are at a watershed moment locally. Collectively, we need to decide if we're going to continue on the current path of political chicanery or if we are going to look at what is in the best interests of the students of Tonganoxie. The board is considering not renewing the staff member's contract because of an incomplete application for certification that, when denied, was not pursued by the district or the staff member any further. The matter seemed to be over and a non-issue until this administration resurrected it. It is further my understanding that even after pressure from the administration to fully review and pursue the matter at the state level, no illegal activity was found to have occurred. Not only did this cause the staff member to incur significant legal expense defending these unfounded allegations, it was a waste of time locally and at the state level. And we're still here.
Amen.
This is the voice that I want to bring forward. Now, Dr. Rance is leaving the US 464 school district. She's leaving us in a far, far worse shape than she found us. Her mark upon this community has been made. She will continue on, as will Tonganoxie. We have been through worse. You, the school board, are obligated to decide if we start the healing process this evening or continue with the divisive tone established by the departing superintendent. We will need leadership, service, compassion, and courage more than ever in our future. The staff member in question exhibits and manifests these characteristics. Your vote of support for the staff member affirms your belief and commitment to the importance of the character of the educator over the diversions of a personal agenda. Your vote of support of the staff member is a nod to the board's commitment to a collaborative approach in solving the difficult challenges we'll face over the divisive, misguided persecution of the individual. Your vote of support is a step towards collectively looking to build a better future over continuing on a downward trajectory. In closing, I would like to acknowledge the staff, the educators, and the school board of Tonganoxie USD 464. You are truly the unsung heroes of the world. To the board specifically, this is a watershed moment. The responsibility of this decision is yours. It cannot be delegated. Thank you.
Mr. Williams?
Thank you for the opportunity to come up this evening. I'd like to start out by saying I am a taxpayer in this district, and I also taught in education for 40 years, 38 of which have been in Tonganoxie. So I think that gives me a little bit of an opportunity to make some observations about the situation. I taught with and coached under this staff member for a number of years before I retired, and I think I can say that during this time, and I don't want to reiterate too much of what Mr. Olson said, but I agree with most of what he said. This staff member was very interested in the well-being of the students, worked very hard to support the students and his coaches, as one of his coaches when he was the athletic director. And I really have felt like he was one of our top staff members in the time I was here and working with him. The question I have for the board, primarily, this issue, as Mr. Olson said, was a matter of certification and the paperwork not being done correctly. But everybody that works for the school district in this room has been signed off on by the administration and the board that when they're hired, they are certified or in the process of being certified for what they're to do. And this staff member obviously has been signed off on in the past because the law says he has to be. I am having a hard time figuring out why we're coming back at this point in retribution for things that have been apparently okay with the administration and the school board in the last few years. And I don't think, if it was done incorrectly, then he should have been notified at the point and not come back at this point and say, all of a sudden, things aren't right, and we're gonna take your job away. And thank you for your time.
Cole Parker?
Hi, my name is Cole Parker, and I love my dad a lot. I'll have you know my dad is a staff member, which you are very familiar with. I think my dad has a very positive effect on not just the kids, but the community. He is a very kind-hearted person who cares about others, puts others before himself. And he is a pretty stinking good dad. I love him with all of my heart. Me and my friends and everyone have loved him as a worker at TES and would surely like him to come back. My dad has taught his kids on our teams and kids at school to accept everyone no matter their differences, to never give up, ever, try to handle tough situations in the right way, to have a positive attitude in everything, to be honest with everything and everyone. Teachers deserve our respect and they are always right. God comes before school and school comes before sports. Treat people kindly even if they aren't nice to you. My dad hasn't only taught us these qualities, but I see him do these things all the time. He needs to continue teaching these things to kids in Congress. Thank you.
Can Jenna read the second part of that? Jenna Webb?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jenna Witt. I would like to say a few things about the staff member we are here for, and I hope you consider how the students of USD 464 feel. He is my 5th grade PE teacher, and so far has been my favorite year. He is nice, funny, caring, and gives all of us confidence. He is strict and knows how to discipline when needed, but also makes class so interesting. Everyone knows when he walks in that there's going to be a competition and a lot of fun. Everyone knows they can count on him. While all of these qualities are great on their own, how often do you find them out of one teacher? We have found 2 of them, these great teachers right here, and we would be sad if we lost them. His wife was my kindergarten teacher. She was my brother's too. She's also one of the best teachers I've ever had. I want my baby brother to have her too. My friends and I think you're making a big mistake if you let them leave this school. Please listen to us and our families tonight. Thank you for your time.
All right, next up on our agenda is executive session. We will be going into executive session to discuss 2 things, and the motion will be made here shortly to do that. Most of our time in executive session, we've only have it scheduled once this evening, is going to be for the superintendent search in dealing with the firm of Jacobson and Peterson. And at the end of that period, we'll also be discussing this issue, I'm certain, and we'll decide what to do out here, because we can't just make a decision in an executive session. We will be in executive session for 2 to 3 hours. And you're welcome to, and that's why I moved the comments up, is so that you would have an opportunity to speak before we went into executive session. If you want to come back, you're welcome to come back in 2 to 3 hours, and then we adjourn again out here in open session to hear our vote on this matter. But this was a special meeting that was scheduled before this issue came about, so we are bound by statute to conduct a special meeting in accordance with the method that we first called it. So I apologize that you aren't going to get an immediate response from this, but we will take due care and diligence in deliberating on this over the facts and come to a decision as a group. And you'll be made aware of that this evening, what that decision or outcome is. I would entertain a motion for executive session.
In accordance with prevailing state statute, I move the board be excused into executive session to discuss matters related to non-elected personnel. In addition to the board, we invite Mr. Chrisman. The board will return to public session at...
We need to also invite
Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown. Also, we will return to public session in 2 hours.
There's a motion to go into executive session for 2 hours with Dr. Crispin and Mr. Brown as guests. All in favor?
Is that 2 hours pretty firm, so we can schedule our...
Yeah.